Hey guys, my name is Ray for the TheYugiohCouncil. Sup. And it is Thanksgiving, and because we're in the spirit of Thanksgiving, we're giving you, well, three of our favorite videos of all time. We're giving you Pack versus Pack, followed by the deck profile on Fire Kings, which really needed an update for this channel, really freaking did. And finally, card versus card. Those are three of our favorite segments, at least mine, to actually do. When I say us, I'm just talking about myself. So we have Judgment of Light versing off against Shadow Specters. But we're going to first talk about Judgment of the Light, hence why the pack is in front of us. And we're going to go down and basically go over what the best cards of Judgment of Light are, starting with this right here. Because we know cutaways, and that way we don't have any, like pieces that are cut out. But anyway, we're going to start with Armadades, Keeper of Boundaries. Basically, this card attacks or is attacked, your opponent can't activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. We really learned how good this was when people underhyped it and said, oh no, it's not that good, and Blue Eyes supposedly was going to be tier 1, like tier 0 or whatnot, and this just goes, so how's that Maiden, bro? How's that Maiden? I won't lie, I did underestimate it when it was first revealed, but as soon after knowing it, I went and scooped one up fast as I could. So the way pack versus pack works is we usually use the score keeper, and the maximum score is 100 points, and basically that gives the cards 1 to 10. And Armadades, I'm not going to give out the numbers, they'll you'll hear it in my tone, and then the score will be revealed later down the line. So that's not until the end of the video. But Armadades is probably my favorite thing out of the entire set next to Star Eater. And honestly, Armadades, if you haven't gotten one and you can find one for the right price, pick one up. They are... This thing with Cataster is just staple. Unless you're running Hyper Librarian spam, you should be running it in anything that can make Synchros level 5. So definitely. It also gets the benefit of being light, so Honest Drop, not that hard to understand. I mean, it's silly. And basically, they can't play Mirror Force. It dodges Dimensional Prison. The only thing that really affects it is either Silent Warning or Compulse, and both are limited right now. So definitely one of the best things out of Jolt right now. Then we have Star Eater, who just, oh my, I love this card. Basically, it's level 11. It's generic. Must be Synchro Summon. Cannot be Special Summon by any other ways. This card's Synchro Summon cannot be negated. So it screws over your warning. It screws over that bottomless. And I should have mentioned that about Armadades can be bottomless, but there you go. When this card is Synchro Summon, cards and effects cannot be activated if this card attacks unaffected by other cards, other effects until the end of damage step. It's a generic level 11 that goes, I like to just go nuts with the whole board and do stuff. Definitely, again, one of the best cards out of Judgment of the Light. And if you haven't picked one up, definitely pick one up. These things, I don't care if there's level 10 coming out, this thing still has its amazing uses. That 3200, it's still ridiculous. It's still awesome. I'm not calling it broken. I don't want anyone thinking I'm calling it broken. It's a good generic synchro that when it comes out, it can end the game. That's how it works. Then we go jump over to my number 3 pick, which is Mass Chameleon. Sorry, I mess with reptiles, so I say chameleon a lot. Mass Chameleon cannot be normal summon if you control level 5 or higher monster. When this card is normal summon, you can target one monster with 0 defense in the graveyard, and you special that target in face-up defense position. Its effects are negated. You cannot special summon any monsters except from the extra deck during this turn. It is a junk synchron, debris, dragon, crane, tour guide, whatever you want to make it out to be in that class. It is the level 4 version. The only thing that holds us back a little bit is it has to be a 0 defense point, monster. Who cares? Zombie Master, Go Zombies, Umbrellas. There's like 1,000 decks that can abuse this, and it's not limited to just bringing out level 4. It can bring out level 4 or lower. It's a 0 defense point. I'm sorry, it can bring out even higher. It's a 0 defense point monster it can bring out. This thing is just dumb and awesome. I'm not calling it broken. I'm not calling any of these cards broken. It's a good, almost generic card because you could search this out with King of the Feral Imps, and that's just so good. But it's so underrated. So definitely pick some up if you can. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the core essentials of Judgment of the Light and what makes it so good. Then we have Exceed Encore. I know a lot of you love this because we all hate Ophion in some sort of way, or we all hate Dragosack in some sort of way. You target one face-up Exceed your opponent controls that has Exceed material. Detach all Exceed materials from it. And if you do, you return it to the extra deck. And if there's a monster card in your graveyard among those, if there's a monster in the graveyard among those detached Exceeds, you special summon as many of those monsters as possible from the graveyard to your opponent's side of the field in face-up defense position. Their levels are reduced by 1, and cards and effects cannot be activated to this card's activation. This is the super polymerization of the Exceed era. It came in a little late. I wish it would have came in a little bit sooner. That doesn't mean that it's a bad card. It's still extremely good. It lasts at like lead yoke and stuff, battle boxers. I definitely think that it sees a little too much play because it was better when Logia was around, and that's when it should have truly, honestly been released. It's still very, very good. Don't get me wrong. It's still very, very good, but it should have been released earlier so it would have had more more definition to the format and everything to actually be used. But what are you gonna do? Then we go to my number 5 pick. No, is it number 5 or number 6? Let me check those. Number 5. Okay, we're halfway through because I'm always talking about 10. Coach Soldier Wolfbark. This thing, oh my god. It only works with the Fire Beast Warrior monsters, obviously. You can read the effect there. I'll still read it off. You can target one level 4 Fire Beast Warrior type monster in your graveyard, special in face-up defense position. If effects are negated, you can only activate the effects of Coach Soldier Wolfbark once per turn. He is in the same class as Mask Chameleon. He's a little less generic because he's only to the fires. I definitely think either it will see more play later down the line or it will see less. The reason I say less is because it depends what Konami brings out that's Fire and Beast Warrior at the same thing. This card shines in Fire Fist, Fire Kings, and that's about it. There's really not too much you can use it in, and that's what kind of limits it. Even though it's a secret rare, it's a great secret rare. Not a, oh my god, I'm going to make $1 bazillion off this. It's not going to be Noble Knight level of hype. So, but it's still a great card regardless, and that's all I can really say about it. Wish it had 200 defense so I could rekindling it, but that would have been, ban limit worthy. Oh well. We go to Transmodify, which kind of the same problem here. You can send one face-up monster you control to the graveyard, special one monster from your deck, one level, basically like one level higher. But it has to have the same type and attribute as the monster in the graveyard that you just used it on. You can only activate them once per turn. Now the reason I say this doesn't shine as much is because let's look at this realistically. There's not really too many decks in the meta or upcoming that are going to be using this. You can't really count Infernities as meta until they get something that just goes zooms them past everything. Quite honestly, and they're a little easier to side against because Shadow and Frenzy Mirror, and well, you can just go further with that, but you get what I'm saying here. So Transmodify, it's still a great card. I'm not calling it bad. I'm not calling it terrible. I'm not calling it 5.5. Okay, I don't want no one getting hurt over what I have to say about these cards. It works in Agents. It works in Infernities, and that's about it. That's where it comes short. There's not as many decks as people would like for it to run in, because Konami, let's be honest here, we don't have enough decks to abuse the hell out of this, and that's what's holding it back. And that's why I can't really say, it's like, oh my god, for this set. It's kind of holding it back a little there. But we're going to move on. We get to Psymyth. I'm just going to call it Behemoth because I think it's Japanese name. Anyway, it's a generic level 6. And for my European friends, I know you guys don't have Vulcan. I think it's BS. That's a whole nother argument. With show and jump and all that. But this is like, you really want to run level 6, this is your guy right here. He's amazing. I'm glad he came in this set. I'm glad they released him. He's a DD warrior lady, and I think that's a great thing because, well, obviously, just remove threat off field, laugh your head off, smack into a Dragosack, take 200, banish the Dragosack. Dragosack can't dodge it. That's what makes it so great, is because just, banishing any threats off the field. Given that if it was, light or dark, it'd be busted as because, well, honestly, it's light and dark, but yeah. But anyway, it's It's an out to quite a few little pesky monsters, so definitely one of my favorites of this set without question. Then we have number 66 Master Key Beetle, who introduced us to a lock with Safe Zone and the White Dragon Ninja, and everyone thought that thing was going to be like tier top. It really wasn't, so it's still a fun move to do. I haven't seen too much abuse with this card as of yet. I still think its full potential is not there yet, and I think maybe in a while we'll see it just take off. I mean, quite honestly, I could just see this thing being silly if Ghost Tricks had a way to, have level 4 Ghost Tricks and do stuff with it, but that's not going to happen. Yeah, I went there. It's not going to happen. Definitely a great card. I'm not a huge fan of it, so I can't talk the nicest about it. Your fun fact of the day is that this was a Kokimiro beetle that has transformed into a number, and you can actually find the artwork of Kokimiro beetle, see what I'm talking about. They look exactly the same, except with a new coat of paint. So he went through this gold thing and just got it. But anyway, moving on because I'm getting silly. This is a TCG import, which means it was not in the original set, and a TCG import. I'm sorry, this is TCG exclusive. And I kind of laugh at the name, Cock-a-doodle-doo. It's a chicken that has to be one of the diverse tuners I've ever seen in my life. If there's no monsters on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand as a level 3 monster. If your opponent controls a monster and you control no cards, you can special summon this card from your hand as a level 4. This face-up card will leave the field, banish it. Let me just say this much. You contribute a Treeborn Frog, it'll be level 5. This thing is the wackiest thing I've ever seen in my life in terms of artwork from this card game. Yes, I actually went that far. Because let's be honest here. Why the hell are there hamsters on top of a chicken? And where are those hamsters? I want those little things. Those things are adorable. I think that Konami hinted at something in the future because look at those hamsters. You cannot have those hamsters there and not say that there's going to be something in the future. I went there. I honestly, I didn't notice the hamsters at first, and then I just slowly started noticing it. And I think that those hamsters will become like a level 1 tuner, but I'm going out of my mind. It's got 2,000 defense, 1,600 attack. You're not going to be using this thing for a beat stick. You're going to be using it for synchroing, nothing else. This plus a Cyber Dragon would be amazing, but this plus Instant Fusion is amazing because it can get level 8. If you have no cards and it comes out as a level 4, I guess if you have, what's that little hamster, Quillbolt Hedgehog, then you can go for level 6 play. Given that level 6 aren't the strongest, this card's kind of lackluster. I still think that we'll see its full potential a little while. It's a little whiles off. Angel Azira comes in at the final spot because, well, I'm a Chaos lover, and this thing is amazing for Chaos and Fairies, but that's where it falls short. Anything besides banishing out somehow and getting it on the field, oh, look, it's amazing. You could do that. Yeah, it dodges Bottomless. It dodges nothing else except Deep Prison, which are not going to, most people are not going to be dumb and use it on it unless they need a sec to get it off the field. It gains 100 for each of your opponent's banished, so it kind of works against a DD deck, I guess. During your standby phase of the next turn, after this card was banished, you special this banished card. You can only activate the effect once per turn. I am not a huge fan of Angel Azira. I do own one because I bought it. I love it. I want to use it, but I'm still not a huge fan. Those green wings are smexy as hell, but that's not what we're talking about. I'm trying to make you guys laugh because it's Thanksgiving, and I'm thankful for every one of you. I just had to get that in there. It is... Next to Cock-a-doodle-doo, it is probably the most lackluster card of the set when it comes to everything we're talking here. And honestly, I feel like this needs more attention in the future. I don't feel it's gotten enough, but with that said, we're going to move on to Shadow Specters, and we're going to go down the 10 from there and just, we'll end the battle and give you the numbers. Shadow Specters. The last part of our pack versus pack. Now we have to decide, is Shadow Specters a better set than Judgment of the Light? Now this is the last pack in the packet you will mostly see in your Walmart for those $3.99 price tags. Let's go right into it and start with my favorite card of the entire set, Divine Dragon Knight Felgrand. Felgrand is so freaking useful. It's found its way into all sorts of different things, but well, you guys obviously know where I put it the most in this channel. I put Blue Eyes. But anyway, once a turn during either player's turn, you can detach one Exceed from this card. Target one face-up monster on the field this turn. Its effects are negated, but it's unaffected by other card effects. Felgrand is just so good, it can laugh at stuff like Infinity Archfiend or Dragosack. And the reason I say Dragosack is because it will negate the effects, make them null and void, and just take them out. Basically when they try to pop you and stuff. So trust me, this card is amazing. And being a benefit of Light and Warrior is just deadly because we've only begin to see what this card can do. Can you imagine later down the line if rank 8s just become so silly to the equivalent of Dragon Rulers, how far this card's going to go? This thing's going to be staple. Without question, like if that was to happen. Talking hypothetically. So it's definitely, if not the best, one of the best cards in the entire set. This card also a mistake. Well, obviously we don't have Thunder King anymore. It's at 1, and Draw and Lockbird a lot of people don't like, but they love Mistake, because neither player can add cards from their deck to their hand except by drawing them. So, it also does lock down Salvage, which is really nice. That's something that I believe it locks down Salvage, because obviously the first part, and it's a one part, so there's really no need to see it. But let's talk about terms of artwork real quick, because a certain little friend of ours is on this artwork, and I really love him and I miss him. Sangin. He's in there dancing like, yeah, I'm getting away from Tribe Infecting Virus, and in the back you can see Tardioric with his ice cream like, no, I got this for my son, and you're driving off and he's gonna be alone. He's going to his mom's. He's fine. We don't know where that one goes. Maybe that one comes in Primordial Ooze or whatever the set's called. I'm sorry, I forgot the name. But anyway, Mistake is it's a meta hate meta hate card without question. If Noble Knights got the Spellbook of Judgment, Mistake is gonna go skyrocketing because it's gonna be the one thing that just chains to it and just stops them. And honestly, it is really worth picking up if you can. Definitely pick up Mistakes. If you don't like Mistakes, go with Joel and Lockbird. You can't go wrong with either one. But I really love the chain ability of Mistake. I hate that it can be MST'd, but that's a minor little detail. Just a minor, because it's 2 out of 40 cards, But Mistake is God tier, and you gotta love it. And then we go to Milan of the Trees. I probably butchered that name. It's all good. It's a 2 level 3 Earth type monsters. Once a turn you can detach one Exceed from this card and activate one of these. Send one plant from the deck to the graveyard, or target one plant and special it from in face-up defense position. If I mill, Lone Fire, or get in the graveyard somehow, because God knows there's like 40 ways of doing it, and I could bring it back and then tribute it for a bigger plant or something that's better, this card is really that good. I don't believe it's underhyped. I do believe that we haven't seen the full power of it yet, because it requires 2 level 3 Earths, and we don't have an Earth tour guide. We kind of do. Someone's going to say it's Pursuto, but it's in the form of Crane. I understand that without question. I do love this card. The artwork is really nice because of my last name being, well, meaning a tree, but that's irrelevant. What else can we say about this? Rank 3s are awesome. 1700 attack. It's not going to last too long on the field, so you're going to want to have some kind of back row protection or just something silly to make it go away. But definitely one out of the set that I wouldn't be mad pulling out, if I was buying a box. This one. This is the reason Pod Avarice was banned, to try to sell this. At the start of your main phase 1, target 3 monsters with different types in your graveyard. Keyword here, different types, not different names, different types. Shuffle all 3 into the deck. Draw 2 cards. You cannot conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this card. I'm sorry, but this card is pretty bad. I wouldn't say awful. It's pretty bad. Maybe we haven't seen what it's supposed to do, which I honestly don't think it's worth it anyway, because giving up your battle phase, it's not a huge thing for certain decks. But for a lot of decks, we need our battle phase to do stuff, and really the only use I could ever see out of this card is just honestly I don't know. I want to say like Mythic Dragons, but that's about it. There's really nothing to really break this card and make it worth, 30, $40. You pull this, I just want to get rid of it as fast as I could, honestly. It's not one in the set that goes, hey, I'm such a great card, be happy for pulling me. It's like, oh, can't they have Felgrand or Melino or Mistake or one of the other like 7 secrets? Some people will hype this. I don't agree with them, but moving on. We have one of my favorite exceeds to come out of the set, Ghost Trick Alucard. It is a generic rank 3. We can use it with Tour Guide. We could do stupid stuff with it. And someone in the back is being a little pain in the butt, so he's going to learn about that. Anyway, your opponent cannot target any other Ghost Tricks except face down or face down defense position for attacks. So basically get 2 of these out is a complete lock. And you can detach 1 Exceed from this card and then target 1 set and you basically blow it up. So it's not that hard to understand there. And let's see. Where is it? I lost my place here. You can only activate the effect once per turn, and if this card is sent to the graveyard, you target 1 other Ghost Trick card in your graveyard and add that target to your hand. It replaces itself. It makes Ghost Tricks actually worth playing. Not to sound that way, it gives them something to get over big monsters. We flip you down, we pop you, and then we snap the fingers. I believe it's a he. I originally thought it was a she, but whatever. Those shoes. If you want to play Ghost Tricks, now's the time to pick that up. Without question, I do think that I don't think they're going to be tier, but I do think that they're going to, get some playability, and people are going to hype this card's price up, so that's just obvious. And then moving on to, again, some of my favorites that I had to mess around with the Blue Eyes Chaos again, is White Dragon Wyver Burster. I think I butchered that name too, but whatever. So basically, every time you tribute it, exceed with it, not exceed, sorry, tribute, synchro, ritual summon, fusion summon, as long as it's from the field of the graveyard, you get to search the Black Dragon Collapse Serpent from your deck and add it to your hand. You can only do it once per turn. You can only special summon them once per turn, each one. They cannot be normal summon or set. They must be special summoned by this guy's got to be special summoned by banishing a dark, and then the dark one banishes a light, so they constantly play off each other. You can only special summon this card once per turn this way. If this card is sent from the field to graveyard, you add the next one. And that's our little buddy here, who has 100 more attack, but 100 less defense than his brother. Little light pulsar, little dark flare. Kind of cute, isn't it? If you're playing Chaos Dragons, these are definitely 2 cards you want in that deck. If you're playing Blue Eyes Chaos, I haven't really found the proper ratios for it, but be sure that these things are going to be played in there in 3s. Because these 2, and I'm just flipping through them because I'm doing it together, these 2 are freaking amazing. And they're definitely something that, even though it's common, it is a great common. And I was about to say, out of the Legacy of the Valiant Special Deluxe Edition, we'll get these as supers. I totally forgot we weren't getting one for Shadow Specters. We're getting a normal Special Edition. Which, if you haven't heard the news, that has Tuning In and Stardust Dragon as reprints. But no, these 2 cards, I can't flip back to the other one because I just closed it off. These 2 cards are definitely like commons that you would be happy as heck to pull out. They're easy to trade. People are looking for them still. They're great. You can play them in Chaos Monarchs, Chaos Dragons, a bunch of stuff. Now we go to Blue Cyrus, which a lot of people wanted to release for a long time, but it wasn't. And then when it's released, it's like, eh. You know why it's eh? We have Cyber Behemoth, we have Vulcan. Europeans have the one monster that's not Vulcan. That's sad. But this is a great option. When this card's on the field and destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. It loses 2,400 attack. I do think it's a great card. I don't think it's like broken. I don't think it's going to even see too much play. That's kind of sad for me to say, I know, but that's just the way it goes, and there's really not much to say because, well, it's kind of lackluster. And we have Arma Kappa, who is Kappa. It is probably one of the best, one of the top 3 rank 2s. And the reason I say that, let me read the effect off. Once a turn, you can detach 1 Exceed from this card, then it gains 1,000 attack and defense. Or defense, I'm sorry, you pick one. And then during either player's battle phase, while an attack is occurring with this card, you could discard one card for the rest of the turn. Monsters you can control cannot be destroyed by battle. You take no battle damage. You can only use the effect once per duel. So let's put it to you this way: it becomes a 2400 beat stick, or something that has 3000 defense. Your choice. That is extremely good. It takes a little while to set up, but it's extremely good. You could do the discard and then, have a monster that's 1400 or 2000 defense. It's a good stall. It's a good, I'm just going to play off this real quick and go into a Monarch or something like that. I don't think it's going to see too much competitive play, but who cares? It's a great card. That's all that really matters. Moving on. Finally, to end this pack versus pack with the side of Shadow Specters before we do the winner, which will be shown immediately after, is Sacred Noble Knight King Torigis. I can't even pronounce it because I bit my tongue trying to say it the first 5 times. I wasn't able to play this in my Noble Knight build because of the fact it wasn't on Dead Pro. I believe this is the one that wasn't on Dead Pro. I'm pretty sure it was on Dead Pro. But this one requires 2 level 5 Noble Knights, and you're probably going to yourself, when you first look at Noble Knights, you're like, they're level 4s. There's that one level 5. That's not the point. Boars and I can't even pronounce his name. It starts with an M. Those two become level 5 when they're equipped with stuff, and then that's how you go into this guy. It's not that hard. It's really easy. Someone has level 4s, and you just go up to 5s, and you laugh at Evil Swarms. When this card exceeds summon, you can target 3 noble arm cards and equip it to this, basically the equip spell cards, and then with different names from your graveyard. Once a turn, you can detach 1 Exceed from this card, target 1 other monster on the field, destroy it. If this card is sent to the graveyard, target 1 level 4 or higher Noble Knight monster in your graveyard and special summon that target. This card is amazing for Noble Knights, without question. I didn't get to fully speak on my opinion on it because it was so late on Dead Pro when I did the Noble Knights, and then this guy finally came out to Dead Pro. So there will be an updated version probably next month, or when I say next month, I mean January, when we get the final support of Noble Knights. I guess in the final support, but you get what I'm saying here. Every Noble Knight player should be running this in their extra deck without question. But do I think it's something that's super uber broken? Not really. It gives them their own version of Direwolf without actually needing to use Direwolf, so it makes Direwolf kind of obsolete. I say kind of because sometimes you're not going to be able to go into this, but for those times you can, do it without question. This thing is just dumb. It's so good. 2200 attack, that's fine. It doesn't really need the attack because the Noble Knight Arm card is going to give you more stats than you ever know what to do with. It's going to make this guy go up to 3500 and just be a beast and a dominant motherfucker on the whole board. Yeah, I went there. So it is a redeeming factor to what was the last couple of lackluster cards. And it wasn't too many lackluster cards on this, but both great sets, but there can only be one winner, and I think it's pretty obvious who it is. Judgment of Light gets the win just by a 5-point difference. I'm giving it a 75 out of 100, and Shadow Specters a 70 out of 100. That's the 5-point difference right there. And the only reason Judgment of Light is honestly a better set is because it has more generic cards. If Shadow Specters be, I don't know, something a little bit better, because there's some cards in there that are just a little lackluster, and a lot of it's just pushing Noble Knights, which I can understand. I have no problems with Noble Knights. I'm not complaining about that. But had it been just a little bit more, then it would definitely be worth, in the long run, it would be worth more of your money. But Judgment of Light, you can't go wrong on. If you're just you're not looking for Noble Knights or Ghost Tricks or anything along those lines, then definitely Judgment of Light's better of the 2 packs. I'm not calling Shadow Specters a bad set, but it loses this battle because of the fact that Judgment of Light just has better cards in it. Make sure to tune back next month for more pack versus pack, but we have videos daily. And if you want to leave one in the comments below what packs you want to see, two packs see square off, let me know in the comments and I will take it under judgment. If it seems a good enough battle, it will be used. Secret, they're all used eventually. It's just a matter of when and how, just so you're aware. So don't feel like, oh, I didn't get it, I'm never going to see it. You will see it eventually. But I'm ready for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council. Happy Thanksgiving. This is the first of 3 videos that are coming out today. If you like what you saw, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos because we have tons of content daily. Well, we try to have content daily, but sometimes that could be out of our hands. And I will see you a little bit later with the deck profile. It's very fiery, and then afterwards we'll go to another versus series to end the day, and make sure to spend it with your family or whoever whoever you spend Thanksgiving with. Make sure to have a good time. Turkey Day, and I'm out of here.